England against Wales is a special game. Of all the countries who play in the Six Nations, it's always the one with the most needle on the field. It's the one match you don't want to lose. Wales was also a special team for me to play and coach against because of the rugby education I had in their system. I went to school at HMS Conway on Anglesey in North Wales between 1969 and 1974. Unable to play my beloved football, I threw myself into rugby. It coincided with the zenith of Welsh rugby, a national side filled with true greats including two of my heroes, Barry John and JPR Williams. Because of my education, I went through a Welsh schools trial on one occasion. Two blokes by the name of Terry Holmes and Gareth Davies were there as the starting half-backs. What careers they had. No one had heard of me when I arrived for the trial. Despite qualifying through my Welsh school, I quickly gathered a sense of discomfort as to why an English kid was being considered to represent Wales. I played well. To be honest, I thought I was the best player there. But I didn't get in. Things ended up turning out very differently. A year later I had left school and played for an England Colts team against Wales youth at Twickenham. Holmes and Davies were both involved again wearing red shirts. But we won. A few years later, in 1980, I played for the full England side against Wales at Twickenham. And yes, you guessed it, Holmes and Davies both started. That game will be remembered for a long time. Paul Ringer was sent off for Wales in what was a dirty match and we hammered them 9-8. Dusty Hare kicked 3 penalties. England won the Grand Slam that year and a few months later, I was on the British-Irish Lions tour of South Africa with Holmes and other great Welshmen like Ray Gravel and Davies. Alan Phillips, who went on to become Wales team manager for a long period, was also on that tour as a hooker. Gravel was an absolute legend. I roomed with him. God knows how I survived. He was mad as a hatter. When Ray was still with us and after he'd retired, he used to do television work like me. At every England and Wales match we'd be working at, he would always come and find me. I dreaded those moments. That's because even though I would be pitchside in my suit, Ray would tackle me to the ground and shout, "I always told you that you were just a soft centre." It happened at every big game between our two countries. Ray's death in 2007 was really sad. So too has been the passing of other Welsh greats in Williams and John this year. When I was at Conway, the likes of JPR were heroes to us. That was a golden period for Welsh rugby and we all, even those of us born in England, idolised those players. That explains a bit about why England against Wales is special for me. But it's the same for every player and coach who gets the chance to be involved in the historic fixture. I was fortunate over the course of my career to have a pretty good record against Wales. But the Welsh won't ever let me forget Wembley in 1999 and that Scott Gibbs try. Neither will I, let me tell you. With my love of football, I was devastated to lose at Wembley. They say you never lose, you only learn. Well, we learned a hell of a lot that day. We had a serious wobble in the 2003 Rugby World Cup quarter-final too, going in at half-time behind to Wales. The thought of what life would have been like had we lost that game can still keep me up at night. Thank goodness for Jason Robinson. Wales are always a tough nut to crack, and that has particularly been the case when Warren Gatland has been their head coach. I'd be nervous if this England side was travelling to Cardiff this weekend, but I'm not sure Wales are as fearsome an opponent when they are on the road. For the 2024 meeting between the two sides, England should and must win. I don't see them losing. That prediction might come back to bite me, but Wales are a very young and inexperienced side. While England will need to improve on their win over Italy, they should go into round 3 with 2 wins from 2. To lose at home to Wales would be a huge disappointment. There's a saying doing the rounds in Test rugby today: attack both sides of the ball. I've heard Steve Borthwick and his England players say it a lot. In old money, that means be good in attack and defence. It's hardly a revolutionary term. Of course, to be successful at international level you need to have a good defence. But what I'd like to see this England team focus on is their attack. I've heard Captain Jamie George and his players talk about reconnecting the national side with the public and making Twickenham a tough place to go. The squad want the fans on their feet and going wild with excitement. Nothing would make me happier than to see that. As important as a good defence is, that isn't going to get supporters jumping for joy like their team scoring thrilling tries. England showed signs of promise in attack against Italy. But it might be that it's the Welsh who double down on the attacking and expansive game that so nearly delivered an incredible comeback against Scotland. As a young and inexperienced side, evoking the speedy and ruthless style of Wales in the 1970s is not a bad blueprint to follow. It won't be easy, but England should have enough for victory, one which will hopefully give me bragging rights over my Welsh friends for another year.